right, thank you, ma'am. Bye-bye. Okay, so without naming names, this young man I was talking to.
No, I just want to know, did you say it, Mr. Palmer? Like,
yeah, I'll tell you my exact words.
Okay.
I said, turn the music down.
No,
I don't want to hear the word nigger in my office. Those are mine.
Now, were these, did you say nigger music or?
Yes, you did.
No, excuse me.
Yes, you did.
Hey.
I mean, there's.
I'm trying to talk to your dad right now.
I mean, you've already talked to her, and she said when you said it, then you closed the door like you wanted to come back in here. And on top of that, that word shouldn't even be coming out of your mouth, Mr. Palmer. I mean, what since you know? No, Mr. No. Okay. There's no explanation. Like you want me to be fine with you using that expletive to a student. A student was obviously upset because he told another student, and another student was upset, and you can't. I mean, what are we doing here? Okay. What are we doing here, Mr. Palmer?
Again, my exact words.
And hold on, before you go, what did Monty? Let's hear the story from where you're coming from.
So we were in class, and Monty had just told us that he got in trouble for leaving off campus for lunch. And I had kind of laughed at him, like, like, that's what you get. Because he was upset. And he was like, no, I'm upset because Mr. Palmer just told me to turn my nigger music off. And I thought he was joking. And I was like, you swear that he said nigger music? And he said, yes. And that's when I came down here because I was outraged that a word like that would come out of your mouth. A person in a position of power at this school who's in charge of not only supposed to be directing people, but also you're in charge of giving punishments, directing the school. And so for you to be in charge of all that and feel that type of weight because towards what, rap music, basically?
And then what did he say? Well, okay, that's fine. And when you came down here, what did he say to you?
He said that he said it. And I was like, I can't.
Said what?
Nigger music.
So are we saying you don't want to hear the word, rap music that has the word nigger in it? Or did you say nigger music, Mr. Palmer?
I said
nigger music.
Excuse me. Okay,
I mean, you want to, I just need to talk to your boss, Mr. Palmer. This is going to go way above, like, this is ridiculous. And, like, I can't believe that,
Call Monty down too.
you know, you're sitting here saying, you're trying to change up these kids' words. My daughter pretty much heard what she heard. Rarely you said nigger, whatever, like, you still said it. It shouldn't be, like,
yeah.
I mean, yeah, but,
okay.
So, okay. Wow. Yeah, this is bad, Mr. Palmer. Like, this is bad.
What I told.
I mean, we can. I mean, hey.
You've asked me to tell.
I mean, there's no. I mean, Mr. Palmer, you're changing your words up. I mean, my daughter's telling me you said one way, you still said the word, and you're trying to give an explanation for it.
Can you come to my office, please?
Yeah, not a problem.
Okay. I'm not going to write this off to cultural differences or anything.
Yeah, hey, I'm done.
Okay.
There's no explanation, Mr. Palmer. Cultural differences, things like what are you talking about? I mean, you're old enough to know. You're over 50 years old, Mr. Palmer.
Right.
You know what you did.
Can we help you?
Yeah, I did. Mr. Black, I'm glad you're here. So, my daughter called me pretty irate because she was in class. A student informed her that Mr. Palmer told him to turn his nigger music off. And she thought he was joking, came down here, asked Mr. Palmer. Mr. Palmer told her the same thing. She called me irate. Then I get up here, he's telling me that, I said, I don't want to hear the music that has the word nigger in it. Mr. Palmer, you shouldn't be saying that anyway. You can just tell him to turn the music down. I mean, as I told him, Mr. Palmer is your father's age. He knows the impact, the meaning of that word. I don't want to hear ignorance. I don't want to hear cultural differences. You know the impact of what you did here.
I grew up with that word.
I totally know, Mr. Palmer, because if you didn't, you wouldn't have used it as an adjective to describe a category of music. That's what you did.
No, that's
I mean, well, go ahead.
That's what you're hearing. What I told that young man is I don't want to hear the word nigger, and I want to hear music with the word nigger.
Well, you shouldn't be using that word. If the music was a problem to you, Mr. Palmer, you could have just had him said, hey, turn the music down. And then you try to chalk the use of the word up to cultural differences, or that's what I'm perplexed by, because you're old enough to know the impactfulness of that word. You're, like my daughter said, you're an educator here. You use that type of word, so that only could lead me to believe that you have some type of racist feelings. I mean, that's all I can really say. Like, I'm blown away right now. You know, that there's a principal here that chooses to use that type of language to African American students in that context. I don't know if I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm not. So I need to speak to someone. This kid Monty was in here previously. I don't know. Where do I need to go? Because at this point, I really have no more words for Mr. Palmer, because he's trying to give me an excuse of why he chose to use that type of epithet.
I know our principal, he's a social.
Okay.
Yeah, I can meet with you, but we're about to have bus duty here. We can set up a meeting for Monday, and you can meet with me and our principal.
Yeah, this needs to be handled more swiftly. You have a guy on your staff that chooses to use racial epithets to children. That's a serious matter. That I don't think needs to be.
I don't know what the whole story is.
Well, you need to hear the story, sir. That's what I'm saying. There's no need to sweep this under the rug, and that sounds like what you're trying to do, to sweep it under till Monday. I need to speak to somebody actually above you at this point.
The cat is above him. I just get back from a funeral.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not going to be here today. Something happened in the family, so he had a family emergency.
Mm-hmm.
That's the principal. So he's out of office. Legitimate reason out of office.
Okay.
I can meet with you.
And he's
No, I'm done with you too. What's the principal's name?
Joel Hayes.
Joel Hayes. Okay.
I like hearing the story, but I don't know it.
Well, in a nutshell, your principal's here using racial epithets. Well, go ahead, Tasia. You go ahead and tell the story again.
Well,
Full.
can I meet with you in the office so I can actually take notes on it?
Oh, sure. Come on, Tasia. Yes, let's go.